You can see the trailer and the house back there. And I've just stepped off into what me and Dad always called the river acre. And this fence line right here is just covered in wild grapes. Although, this is when they should have grapes on them and there are none. We had a wild freak frost late in our spring here. And we've had more and more of those, which is troubling. So I need to find ways to mitigate that and create microclimates. There's a big pecan back here. Oh, we've got grape growing on this right here too. I would like to turn a couple of cows and goats and then sheep loose in here and clean this up. And then my intent, my design calls for heavy planting of hardy kiwi and pawpaw and mayhaw and mulberry. I haven't given mulberry enough credit in this design so far, but I mean, it's one of the things I want to plant a lot of. I want a lot more vining plants down here. Where I'm standing right now, I've seen underwater before. Here's a bodark tree, what they call an Osage orange or a horse apple. And they have some beneficial uses, but it's also a really, really, really hard wood. Pecans are a never-ending source of wood because they drop limbs all the time, especially since we've had all this drought. I would never camp under that. But now this tree should be 87 years old, because that is a grafted tree, I think. It gives, pretty sure this one gives Burkett paper shell pecans. All right, you know, I don't want to walk through all this crap. I got shorts on. There's bull nettle everywhere, and there's poison ivy everywhere down here. And the river is down, but the river is about 100 yards that way, and it stares to, oh hell, let's just go. I've been here 30 years. Never bothered me before. See where these cows that have come up from across the river regularly lately have beaten sort of a cow path through here, which is nice, because it's snaky as all get out down here. There's some wild blackberries growing back under this pecan back here, and there's a trough that goes down here. So there are contours to work with on this part of the property. And this is a little narrow finger of land. And here's another big drop. Here's a pecan. That's a big live oak that dropped a limb, and there's tons of poison ivy around there. The neighbor's place looks like a park. The property just to the north gets regular doses of 2,4-D and fertilizer and pesticide. He's an old school agronomist, and you know, this is where his roots are. His family's had this place for 160 years and fought for it, so I don't presume to tell him how to farm. He's got a degree in it, but I know what I want to do here. But that's also one reason that I need to think about planting honey locust along this property line on the north as filter and sacrificial trees. Plus they'll help keep out some of the north wind. It gets cold here in the wintertime. I just got stickers. All right. We're almost to the river. Now, here's my river frontage. That cow track takes you to the neighbors, which is a lot easier to get down to the water, and that's where I would go if I wanted to get in. Mine is steep. And right now, the channel is still coming right here along my property. But you're looking at one of the major rivers of Texas. And this is the kind of drought we're having. If I can get this sticker off the back of my leg. All right, hold on. Here we go. When I did that hugelkultur, this is where I got the fallen trees for it. I want you to look at this. I don't think I have ever seen this river this far down. I'm sure it's happened, but in the last couple of months, I've seen more rain in one day here that actually came up and flooded the house. And I've seen the river as far down as I've ever seen it. I don't even know that there is a channel at all right now. Now in the olden days, you didn't see all this grass and stuff growing in the middle of the river either, because regular floods would scour this out. And this river did not get silted up. And it was an alkaline river, jiffy water they called it. But you could wander into it with a cut on your hand and it would heal it up. And now there's high quality dolomite under that ridge on the other side, and there's a huge quarry right on the other side of the ridge. And if they could, they would quarry all the way down to the water's edge and just ruin everything. But we stopped them. It didn't hurt that Alice Walton lives right upstream. I'm getting eaten alive by some kind of bug. This is also where the Comanches used to, this was the trail they took down south from the plains to the Mexican settlements in South Texas to steal horses and women and children. They were like pirates. But there's always been settlement along this river, so there are old kitchen middens up and down that are thousands of years old, if you know where to look. And sometimes when they grade the county roads with the big grading machine, you can hunt for arrowheads along those. Anyway, my river frontage goes from that big pole, that big timber right there, over to right here, and it's steep. And I'd like to see the river come back up. So, that's the river acre. Because it floods, say, once every 10 to 15 years, well over my head here, I'm not going to build anything on it, but I'll run stock on it, and I'll plant hardy kiwi Hey, look at the grapevine. Ooh, biting flies. And pawpaws and mayhaws. I could plant a lot more trees down here after I run some stock on it. Anyway.